Well, welcome back, viewers. It's James Kalm, your half-assed art reporter on the bike. And today, we're up here at the very top of Museum Mile on the Upper East Side, Manhattan. And we have found our way to the Jewish Museum. We're going to go in for a very special program. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to go in and see Florine Stettheimer painting poetry. Oh boy. Well.
She was very rich. She didn't have to paint.
That's the best way.
And people in society thought she was a little crazy.
Well, they probably weren't too far wrong. I think you gotta be crazy to be this interesting of a painter. Well, they're saying that this is the first major retrospective of Florine Stettheimer in over 20 years. And, well, it's long overdue. This piece is called Family Portrait, 1933. Florine Stettheimer, 1871 to 1944, was the fourth of 5 children born to a wealthy Jewish couple, Joseph and Rosetta Walter Stettheimer. They were members of the elite closed society of affluent Jews in New York, an exclusive group that included the Siegelmans, the Altschutzes, Strausses, Morgenthaux, Guggenheims, Bernheims, and Wahlbergs. Like many prosperous Americans of the Gilded Age, the Stettheimers were cultured and well-traveled. Before World War I, they lived mainly in Europe. But in 1914, when Florine was 43, they returned to New York City, settling together in a grand apartment in Manhattan. The 3 sisters moved in artistic and avant-garde circles and established a notable salon in their home. This is a self-portrait with paradise birds, undated. You can see that Florine did have some pretty good technical abilities, and well, it's also a very nice, elegant, decorative quality about a lot of this. Now, I was told that some of these things I can't photograph, like these drawings, but we'll sneak in and look at some of the landscapes. Calling these Portrait of Andre Brooke, front facade, 1915. This is a nice suite of full-length portraits of, I guess, what you would call some society matrons. This is titled Portrait of My Teacher, Fräulein Sophie von Preises, 1929. Well, Florine and her sister traveled in some pretty high avant-garde circles, and she was friends with many of the artists, and especially some of the European people that came to town after the Armory show, like Francis Picabia and Marcel Duchamp. I think she took French lessons from Duchamp. This is titled Portrait of My Mother. Portrait of my Aunt Caroline Walter Neustaedter. Well, this is 1928. And, well, you can see she's got a wonderful use of pigment, and somewhere kind of plays between almost a surrealism and maybe caricatures. Get the waiters in the back. portrait of my sister Carrie in a white dress. This is very much an academic study. Something maybe Sargent or Whistler might paint. And they don't have a date. This is a wonderful group portrait. Family portrait 1915. And yeah, she's gotten much more exuberant with her paint handling. And, you know, she's got a very daring and challenging palette that she uses. And like a lot of this looks like it's done with a palette knife. Orpheus in Paris. In summer 1912, Stettheimer attended a performance in Paris of Claude Debussy's Afternoon of a Faun, danced by the Ballet Russe. She was inspired by this experience to create her own ballet entitled Ophi of the Quartz's Arts. Over the next few years, in some 42 sketches, 9 relief maquettes, and 4 sculptures, she materialized her investigative talents to create a play within a play on the theme of revelry and transience of pleasure. This is Eurydice and the Apaches and St. Francis of Assisi. Well, I like the heavily worked watercolors and drawings on that. And yeah, some of the spontaneity of the drawing makes me think of some of the Rodin sketches I've seen. Oh, this is nice. We've got some little studies for the costumes. Oh, again, I like these mounted on the blue boards. Well, this does look like stuff I've been seeing for the last couple of years coming out of Bushwick. The unicorn and the puffy, fluffy dress elements and the glitter. Also, there is a certain very nice sculptural quality to a lot of this. You know, she did a pretty good job of capturing gestures, and also the colored 3D forms are nice. This is Head of Medusa, 1908. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen this piece at the Brooklyn Museum. Yep, the Brooklyn Museum. This is titled Heat, so it's like people or ladies lounging at a birthday party. And, well, I think one of the things that, aside from her kind of wonderful, eccentric subject matter, there is a way that she handles paint that is pretty unique. A lot of scumbling, scraping, working, building up, scraping down, and the way that she's able to meld that with the kind of Art Nouveau forms, very beautiful. Oh, look at this large piece. This might be the biggest piece in the show. Self-portrait with Pauletto, painter and fawn, undated, oil on canvas. Well, I think I first became aware of Florine's work back in the early 80s. At that point, I had kind of branched off from neo-expressionism and was influenced by people like Thomas Lanigan Schmidt and was working in what became known as the kitsch art, the school of kitsch art. Okay, they've got a great salon in here of some of her portrait work, and this is actually maybe one of the more surprising revelations of this show. It's titled Picnic at Bedford Falls, 1918. Well, as I was saying, I was kind of involved and interested in kitsch and what kitsch meant, and I've even written some things on this if you want to Google James Kalm and kitsch. I think the Brooklyn Rail published them. It's titled Feta on a Lake, Undated, Oil on Cardboard. This looks a little earlier because she doesn't have quite the built-up surfaces. It's a wonderful grouping. This is titled Portrait of My Sister, Carrie W. Stettheimer, 1923. And, well, they've got a Christmas tree in there, which is kind of seems to be burning at the top. It's almost a very great abstract reduction of her forms on that dark ground. I think this is Portrait of My Sister, Eddie, 1923. And we'll get up and look a little closer so you can see the way that she's built up the textures of her paint. You know, she's also got tiny little details and little snippets of text, textural things. And, well, we saw her little figures that she made for her ideas for her play, and she always puts in these kind of little background characters. Again, Portrait of Myself. Okay. I've read people who have analyzed the imagery in this one, and I'll let you decide about that yourself. It's a nude self-portrait, undated. Oh, this is nice. She's left a lot of the linen unpainted. Beautiful handling on that bouquet. Portrait of Henry McBride. The art critic Henry McBride, a fervent supporter of modern art, is depicted as the umpire of a tennis match, a metaphor for his influential arbiter of taste role. In the background are references to his American artists whose work he promoted: Stettheimer, Gaston Lachaise, Charles Demuth, John Marin, Winslow Homer. It's a portrait of Louise Boucher. Okay, this one I'm not supposed to photograph. That's Duchamp. Portrait of Louise Benheimer. And Florine also designed the frames. And again, the way that she's using the flat white background and also the pants really isolates these kind of yellow and orange forms of the figure in his waistcoat. Portrait of Baron de Meyer, 1923. Well, I don't know how many of you people are hanging out with barons and countesses and things like that. Well, Florine didn't really need to try to sell her paintings, but she was a very serious artist, very much engaged in the avant-garde community in the salons of the time. Portrait of Marcel Duchamp. That's almost kind of spooky. Saint Marcel. This one also is not supposed to be photographed. Well, this is titled Spring Sale at Bendel's, 1921. And, oh, this is from the Philadelphia Museum of Art. You know, I love the way that, in certain ways, this relates to maybe a painter like Bruegel, who was doing these huge scenes of dozens of figures. Each one of the little groups represents some kind of morality play. And yeah, it's nice that Florine could go to a sale and kind of, that's an interesting twist, and derive similar content. I think this gallery probably has her most major paintings. It's titled Ashbury Park South, 1920. Okay, so we've got 4th of July, 1920. Caruso recital. Oh, that's great. The ladies with the umbrella, again, very abstractly designed down. It's a great hourglass form. These are so subtle and rich that you could spend hours looking at these. Or you could cut a little piece out of this and turn it into a nice full-size painting. This is titled Beauty Contest to the Memory of P.T. Barnum, 1924. And I think she probably designed the frame for this one as well. So again, we've got the kind of the color-keyed composition with the, and this one it's the red, white, and blue. This one is more of a gold cast. That one's more of a burgundy magenta. It's titled Christmas 1930-1940. I'd say this is probably about 5 by 3.5 feet. And again, we've got the, I don't know if that's the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. And, well, you almost need a legend or a program to be able to tell where who the various characters are. I was just informed that this is not Rockefeller Center. This was actually at the southwestern edge of Central Park at Columbus Circle, and that at that point it was known as Automobile Alley. Okay, well, I just spoke to a lady who is a Florine Stettheimer expert, and she's going to be putting out a new book in 2018. Okay, well, I'm not an expert, but I am a big fan. Also, I'm wondering, why is it that she's suddenly become so fashionable, so popular?
Because she now fits
The world finally caught up with her.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the 4th of July, 1927. Birthday bouquet, 1932. Well, they're running us out. They came in and said the press preview only lasts 5 more minutes. This is titled Music 1920. And one of the surprising things is that although she is very exuberant and uses a lot of very rich paint, there's also a very kind of restrained quality about some of this work. She could get her forms boiled down to very nice, elegant shapes, and she could reduce her colors down to just the right kind of harmonies. I'm gonna keep running. Occasionally, a human being saw my light, rushed in, got singed, got scared, rushed out, called fire, or it happened that he tried to subdue it, or it happened he tried to extinguish it. Never did a friend enjoy it the way it was, so I learned to turn it low, turn it out. When I meet a stranger out of courtesy, I turn on a sofa pink light, which is found modest, even charming. It is a protection against wear and tears, and when I am rid of the always to be stranger, I turn on my light and become myself. This has been James Kalm reporting on Florine Stettheimer, painting poetry, here at the Jewish Museum. Thank you, Kate. Whoa! Oh, you gentlemen are on it tonight. Wow, thank you. Thank you.